okay with the car, and
I am Abir Roy Chaudhary, and I am driving Porsche Panamera Turbo Executive. A timeless design. It generally keeps its design for a good amount of time before it goes for an absolute facelift or a model change. This particular car, what attracted me the most is the front look. It's an absolute blackout look. This looks like more of a planet than a car. It's huge. This particular version, the Executive, is a bit longer than the usual one, which gives me added comfort on the interiors. The side profile of the car is, I would say, unmatchable. No other car has this kind of a stance. When I'm driving, this gives me a nightmare because the front of the car is narrower than the hind part, and you have to be very careful while going through narrow paths. But other than that, this gives a lot of aggression to the car. Once you're standing in the front, it gives the shape of an arrow. This is called a PDLS, Porsche Dynamic Lighting System. It doesn't use any reflectors as such in the interiors. It's all black. The throw is amazing. Visibility wise, absolute clarity in this. So PDLS is something which moves along with the steering. If you are going in a bumpy road, it would automatically sense it with the chips, and it would go down and focus on the road. You practically don't need a high beam on this car. When you're on the highway, depending on the upcoming traffic, it adapts itself. If you see the air intake manifolds, most of them are fake. These are absolutely original. All of them are functional. The filters attached there, which actually is required to purify the air that's going inside. We have another side vent here as well. This is also functional. This is also not fake. This particular vent that you can see here, it is also not a fake vent. This, I believe, is very much essential here because of the size of the engine that's there in the car. On a typical hot day, it will be a tough time for you to even stand next to the car once you've done a good pull with the car. This particular car, even if you turn it off, for the next at least 2 to 3 minutes, depending on how much heated up the car was, the internal fans are on. That's very much required for the engine to cool down. Getting into the car is a bit tough, but other than that, overall it's very comfortable.
Tell me the front seat comfort level, headroom, legroom, and all those things.
Everything is up to the mark. Considering someone who's 6 feet tall, I am very much comfortable, and my head doesn't heat up. This is Napa on the top, this is Alcantara here, and this is Alcantara as well. But this is black with a red stitching. The stitching is also an add-on for the car. This sit grips you very well, considering the fact that the manufacturer knows how powerful this car is. It will keep you stable. But this is not the most comfortable seat a car can have. This is pretty much stiff, and driving or sitting here for some time might as well give you a back pain. I believe this is a 13-way adjustable seat. With this can be adjusted, the front and back can be adjusted, and all kind of possible adjustments are there.
It's a memory setting, correct?
It's a memory setting. Three options are there. It's got heated seats. It doesn't have a cold seat. The moment you press it, you can feel, it's getting heated up. 3 levels in it. This seat is adjustable. Considering the fact that I was sitting in the front, I still have a good amount of legroom.
And headroom?
Headroom is a bit compromised than what in the front because of the shape of the car. This particular one is for the temperature, outside temperature get on this. Then this is the speed one. Generally all the cars you will see, the speedometer is in the middle. But this is on the left hand side. They mainly focus on the engine. So the rev meter is in the middle. That's the information gauge. Here you have the tire pressure. You have the vehicle stats, the temperature and everything. And then you have the specs about how much time you have traveled, the distance, average speed and everything you can get here. Then you have the map. The navigation is also here. The entire thing is digital, apart from this one. This one is analog. It's got 4-zone climate. One of the magical part is normally all the other cars, what you can do is you can do this and remove it. This doesn't happen that way. So you have to go to the climate part. Then you go to the vents. And here you have the option of putting it down. It comes down. It goes up. In the direction of the wind can be changed from here. And if you want this to be off, like you can just switch this off, this particular one. Then this is the temperature control, this is the fan control for that side. Similar thing is in the back. You have the climate here again, the same vent control is there. So you can go up. This goes up. This comes down. You can control this interior part as well from here. This is one button for the AC max. You just hit it once, like when you're very extremely hot outside, you come in, you want it to be chilled, just press this and everything is low and the fan goes to the highest. This is the mode selector. This is the modes: normal, sport, sport plus and individual. Individual you can combine, like you want the chassis to be normal, the air spring to be medium, according to how you want to drive the car. If you don't want to get it done from there, you can get it done from here. This is 0. That means it's normal. And then you have the sports. Then you have the sports plus. And then you have the individual. So once you switch into sports plus, the car will get lower. The car will lower itself down. Chassis becomes more stiffer so that you can handle the speed that we're going into, and of course gives a better aerodynamic to the car. If we go by the lift option, this is generally your car doesn't let you drive on this above 30 km/h because it of course messes up with the stability of the car. So this, once you're doing a very rough patch of road where you can't speed, that's one case. Or maybe car is parked in a high terrain, you have to put it up, so that's another time you might as well require this. Medium is for normal drivings, like it gives a considerable amount of height to the car so that it doesn't get hit to the bumper or something like that. If the bumper is very high, then you might as well have to lift it up, but other than that, this medium is okay for the daily driving. Then we go to the low part. When the car gets lower, this is track specific mode where the car gets lower and it improves on the aerodynamics of the vehicle. First is the navigation, and then you can have all your destinations and traffic and every detail. You just precisely connect your phone to this CarPlay and it will update itself with the internet. So
how is the satellite navigation system?
Satellite navigation system is amazing.
Does it have a SIM inside it, or how does it work?
It has a SIM slot inside it. Then you have the car, you have precisely all what can be done: the suspension height, the chassis, the sports exhaust system, the spoiler and everything. When you're in the normal mode, you have this option of keeping this in the normal. So this goes normal, the exhaust goes off. That's the normal mode. Then you go to the sports mode. Sports mode, the moment you hit in, the chassis changes to sports and the exhaust system changes to sports exhaust. Then you go to the sports plus mode. This is when all the three things changes. This remains exhaust normally, sports exhaust is on. The valves are absolutely open. The sport plus mode, the chassis also changes its configuration, and then at the same time this car also goes lower to the extreme lowest this thing possible.
Okay. So efficiency, normal, sports plus.
The fuel efficiency, it keeps on going down. So once you're in the normal and driving somewhere around 1500 to 2000 RPM, somewhere around 55-60 depending on the road, it should give you somewhere around 6.5 to 7. Then you go to sports. Sports should be somewhere around, and if you're pulling the car, it should be somewhere around 4.5 to 5. And then if you go to the sports plus, this should go to, this will further go down to 2.5, 3. This is not loud music played, this is about the clarity. I guess everyone knows Bose is more about the clarity than the loudness of the music. So here, if you're listening to a song, you can individually hear every instrument that's being played. So that's the plus for this particular car system. This has got 13 Bose speakers in this car. This is the spoiler. So once you hit this, you can see it opening up there, and it's opened up at the back. You can keep it open if you want to. And that's for the aesthetic part majorly. And when it comes to the performance part, once your car hits 80 on the road, it automatically opens up. It's a 2-split sunroof. That's a moonroof. This is a sunroof. This is opening from here. That's opening from there. And then that's the first part. And then you have so this part is openable. The one at the rear is not openable. And the entire roof of the car is glass. You can open and close from here. The moonroof can be controlled from here. Then you have this blind that can be controlled from here. This particular one is automatic as well. This is controlled by the individual person sitting. So first you hit this, it goes down. It doesn't have two different buttons. It's one button that controls both.